You are my shelter from the storm. You keep me safe inside your wings. You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink. Your gentle hand, even when I can't understand, I know your voice. I'm not afraid, walking with me at the same pace.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. And good morning, you guys. I'm still out here searching for him. Thank you for coming in this morning's Q&A. My name is David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. My son, Daniel, a graduate of the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina, came out to Arizona to start his career in geology. Got hired on with a company called Matrix New World, also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater, where his job is to check the viability of wells. He's hired on as a field geologist, also called a hydrogeologist. And like I said, on June 23rd, my son was doing just that, just what he does every time he go to work. He get a work assignments to certain locations, like one of those wells here somewhere in Arizona. He went out there to 2 well sites that morning, supposedly, allegedly 2 well sites. The first well site he went to was off of Verada Way, off I-10 here in Arizona, and that's in the Buckeye area. He made it to that well site according to his job, done what he needed to do there, and then started looking towards the second well site. The information we got at front was from the person who last seen my son on June 23rd. This person from a company called Weber, worker there, who was waiting on my son at this well site, said my son did start heading up that way to excuse me, guys. Start heading that way up to Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road. Once my son got there, this worker said that they had a brief conversation on the side of the road. My son followed him into that desert. They drove about a mile west into that desert and 2 miles north just to get to that well site. Once they arrived on the well site, it was roughly around 9 o'clock. This guy said that my son and he had a conversation about the weather and things like that. After almost about 10 minutes later, the guy said that my son waved off to him where he was never ever seen again. As you guys know, I have been out here. I was the one that put the initial report in of my son being missing. And those reasons were because my daughter did get a visitor that came to her apartment, one of the coworkers from Matrix, not from Weber, not Weber, the guy that was at the well site. I want you guys to be clear on that. It was the company, one of his friends from his job came out to her apartment to see if he was there. She thought that was strange. She didn't know the gentleman at the time. And so she, of course, ended up alerting me about it. I'm sure she probably called her mother, but she definitely called me and told me what was going on. I did send her out to her brother's house to see if his vehicle was there or he was there at all. And at the same time, we was making phone calls. So didn't get in the answers of the phone call. My daughter got to his apartment. He wasn't there. So those things were still out of ordinary. So I had to get more details about what was going on. In the meantime, like I said, we're definitely still making phone calls. After a while, I started looking at the time, just got the information about the last time he was seen at that well site. It was told to me again around 9 o'clock that morning. And so I look at the hours from the distance between what it was at the time, and it was well over 6 hours. That's when it became concerning to me. Reach out to the Tempe Police Department. My son was a resident of Tempe at the time. To let them see if they can go do a welfare check. At that moment, I'm wondering if something happened, some type of foul play, or anything could happen, and wanted somebody go into the apartment to see if he's okay. Somebody stole his vehicle or whatever the case may be. Of course, Tempe Police Department told me they couldn't do it once they heard about the White Tank Mountains. I got that information from my son's job. Said that he was last seen near some White Tank Mountains. Once I mentioned that, the dispatcher told me they had to go to Buckeye. I got alerted to Buckeye. Went out to reach out to them as well as for the welfare check. They said they would get with Tempe because with that police department, I heard that they did do a drive-by in that area, but they didn't see anything strange. Of course, from that point, but then I put in the missing person report because I look at the time, like I said, was over 6 hours. That was way out of character for Daniel. Plus two, his first time. I put all those combination of things together. His first time at that well site. Definitely know the mindset of my son. If he wanted to not be at work, he wouldn't have came to the first job site. He wouldn't have been there at all. So putting those combination of things together, I did put in a missing person, try to put in a missing person report. It was a few hours too early. I was told I couldn't do it until the 12-hour mark. So I had to wait a few hours after that phone call and call back again to put that report in. Once I did that, had Officer Cruz took that case, and he told me that he would go out to Sun Valley Parkway and drive around that area to see if Daniel's on the side of the road or anything like that. Of course, I was really happy to hear that, relieved of that, thinking that, that would help solve some of the problems that we're having as a family, knowing something wasn't right. But then I later, like I said, still doing my due diligence, later found out that he wasn't just missing on the road. The road was outside of that desert area called Sun Valley Parkway, and that my son was actually indeed in the desert, last seen in the desert at a well site. Once I got information, I did ask Officer Cruz at the time to go out there in the desert to search for my son. Can they send some helicopters out there to search for my son? He told me it's nighttime. They weren't able to do that. It would be the next morning. They can have a helicopter out there. Of course, that's all I had at the time, being that I'm over 2,000 some miles away. I had to accept that and wait till the morning. Of course, guys, I wasn't getting to sleep. I was doing everything I can, calling every hour to Officer Cruz to try to get all the information I can together if anybody got in contact with Daniel. Next morning came, new officer came in. I think his name was Officer Haley at the time. Came in and we had a discussion about several things. I was trying to get them to put my son's name on one of those reports out there. Was some kind of bulletin or something that would say my son is missing. I was getting that promise for a while. I had to really push that, and finally, I think it probably wasn't even that day, probably the day after that, I was able to get them to do it. But in the meantime, that same officer did tell me that they was going to have a helicopter put out there that morning, and I was really relieved again. But then he called me back a little later, like a little over an hour later, and then told me that it was canceled, and then it was unauthorized because his higher ups said it was unauthorized because Daniel's a grown man. If he want to disappear, he can. Hearing that assumption, that really bothered me. I couldn't stomach that at all. And I just grabbed everything I can and start heading out here in Arizona. So you guys, I know I've been here since June 26th, searching for my son, conducting my own investigation, started my own searches for my son out there in the desert, and flyer distribution, you name it, all without the help of law enforcement. Had to do it on my own. Pushed really hard to get media coverage. Was able to do that as well. So you guys, I've been here since that time, searching for my son. You guys know the story. For those who is new to this YouTube channel, new to the Q&A, you guys have any questions about my son's case, feel free to ask those questions. Those questions that I can't answer, I will tell you that as well. If I just don't know the answer to it, I will tell you that as well. One way we do it is you guys, if you come down the comment section, you put the letter Q there before your question, the word question before your question, or some question marks or something like that will help me see your question as I come down the comment section. I have a lot of people in the comments, and I want to make sure that I get everybody. So I also want to acknowledge everybody in the administrators who come and help me with the chats. So you guys see the administrators are putting information out there for you as well. So you can see the administrator. I really thank them. They're part of my team. Also board members for the foundation, Daniel Robinson Foundation. As you know, you guys have started the Daniel Robinson Foundation. And also we have events. So same people, my team are responsible for those things as well. Really grateful to have them out here and make sure they're handling the comment session. Again, I'm Dave Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Robinson. I also wanted to tell you guys, we do have an upcoming event. And that upcoming event is a day of remembrance. You see it down here on the bottom of the screen, September 10th. If you guys, please, if you're here in Arizona, or if you can get out to Arizona on the 10th, the day of remembrance is at 6:30 p.m. Right downtown at the Capitol, Senate lawn. If you guys would come out there and support us. When I say us, it's the families of those who are missing,
just be in support. If you are a family with a missing loved one, if you want to be a part of a day of remembrance, want to reserve your spot, you can do that as well, just by hitting us up at pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com, pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com, and reserve your spot. But like I said, I would like to see everybody out there to come and support the team who put that together. Really hard to try to get resources, make sure we had the resources for families who come out to this event, to take advantage of those as well, and to be able to give a platform for those missing, those families with other missing, give them a platform to share their loved one's story on, to make sure that, like I said, their voices are heard. So I had a hard time when I first got here in Arizona, and we want to make sure that we shared our love as well. So just don't forget the Day of Remembrance. I'm going to put in a little commercial here for you guys, a little video here for you guys. If you can listen to this, and then I come back. Okay, again, you guys, that is for a Day of Remembrance, a very, very important event, September the 10th. We'd like to have you guys out there, to show your support and your love for us, the families of the missing. Definitely want to, spread that awareness, and make sure that voices are being heard. Also, to get those resources out to these families. Like I said, I've been here since June 26th, and those last year, and those were some very hard months. It's been a very hard year, especially when you don't have the type of resources from law enforcement, and you have to rely on the public for all your help and everything you're doing. So it was very helpful, because you guys have been helping from day one. Those when went out to the public, was able to get out to the public, and people showed up to the searches out there, spending their days and their times and their hours out there with me in the desert, uh, putting in a rescue mission. We first got out there in that summer where Daniel went missing. It was a rescue mission. Like I said, the only information we had at the time, my son went missing from a well site with his vehicle. There was nothing. We'd have nothing else, just the story from the guy at the well. And so that was a rescue mission. Our mindset was, hey, look, he's out there somewhere, and we need to rescue him. I found out, like I said, before I even started getting my searches totally together, I had to do a lot of research. I found out things about washes. I didn't even hear about those before. The mines in the area, because this area where there was a lot of gold rush and back in the days, and minerals and things like that people would mine for. And so there was a lot of prospect mines out there that some was not even registered on mapping. They don't know where they at. A lot of them is not fenced in, or some of them are vertical mines and things like that. So I had learned a lot about that desert terrain out there, do my due diligence or homework on that. And they're scary. It was a scary moments, saying, just even imagine the possibility of him getting involved with some of those things that's out there in the desert. And so I did that homework. And like I said, those rescue missions were for looking for things like vertical mines, mine shafts and stuff like that. And going through the washes, the Wagner washes, and some of the rivers that flow through there, and also it's a canal that runs through that way as well. So there's a lot of things there, and gave us a lot of places to look. But like I said, you guys, once that the vehicle showed up here, guys, this vehicle showed up almost 30 days later, and in a ravine about a little over 3 miles away from that well site, falling into that desert. And once that vehicle showed up, of course, I expanded my searches to even cover that area. Then it was based on a lot of science, how far a person can walk, because the information we got from that was that his clothes were shredded off because he had a brain injury. And this was from the Buckeye Police Department. He had a brain injury, and he's walking off butt naked with no clothes on. We know it's 118 degrees out there. Sometimes out there in the desert, it gets very, very hot. And how long a person can walk without that in that situation was based on that, or if he had to change of clothes, because we didn't have any information at the time, so it was based on a change of clothes and all kinds of scenarios. So the searches was based on that, and then I had the searches based on some of the information when I later hired on an investigator, accident reconstructionist, and some of those sciences, those things that came out from that, I had to base my searches based on some of those information as well. So it's been a lot of work. We cover over 40 weeks of searches out there, over 35,000 acres of land, and so still have some areas, believe it or not, that could be searched. Been working very hard here in other ways, getting the flyer distribution still going to this date, getting information out, as well as doing these interviews and things like that. Keep Daniel's name out there in the public. But I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for coming out to the Q&A this morning. I will be going through the chats. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, please put the word question there before your question. Also, some question marks or capital letter Q, something like that before your question. And as I'm coming down the comment section, I can actually see them. If I miss anything today on this Q&A, you can come back this evening. I have another Q&A. It's called Q&A Prime Time. So you guys come back. It's at 5:30 p.m. here in Arizona. That's also in California time. But you also can come. It'll be 8:30 p.m. On the East Coast. If you guys live out there in South Carolina, where I'm from, on the East Coast side. So you guys can adjust your time based on those, and come back to that Q&A prime time, and reserve your questions for that time. And I'd really be grateful to answer those as well. I do want to say one thing too. I have a tip line here. Tip line I had it pretty early on. Trying to reach out to that one person or persons who know what happened to my son, who have those informations that they're reluctant to share with law enforcement. I don't know, but this is a tip line that's 24 hours, 7 days a week, live operators that will take your call. You will be anonymous if you want to be anonymous, and give that tip. Like I said, but if you don't want to even talk to the people online, you can take your own cell phone and text the word tip to that number, and you still can remain anonymous. There's a form will come up. You fill out the form, remain anonymous, and I still can get that information. Investigator get that information. So you guys can please help out if you can, or whoever it is. I'm just saying, don't help out. Just go ahead and do the right thing. Do the right thing, and bring some closure to my family's pain. So then you have a mother back in South Carolina who's in pain, his siblings as well as his family, so you need to go ahead and end that pain give us some sense of closure, some sense of closure or a closure at all, period. Give us information to bring Daniel back home. We need all of that. So you guys, if you're out there, you have the information, please don't hold back the information. It's time to talk. It's been over a year now. And, there's no other excuse but to do the right thing. So just go ahead and use that number. It's not for anybody else but that persons who know what happened. So if you guys know what happened, definitely use the tip line. If you don't know, you have some speculations. That's not what the tip line is for. I do have information where you can reach me if you want to express those things that you think may be some places you think that Daniel may be, but not based on actually knowing. There's other ways you can get that information out to me. Of course, you can hit please help find Daniel at yahoo.com, and give that information as well as a public cell phone number. I do have those information down the bottom of the screen. You can use that if you want to be able to contact me directly. So up in advance, you're a person that actually want to give that kind of information, some advice, or something you think really strongly and highly about. I really thank you for that as well. I can go through those things as well. Take some time, but thank you so much for putting the information. But definitely, if you have that information, please use the tip line. If you know definitely what happened with my son, you got the information there, and you're just reluctant to say who you are. That's what it's for. So, yes, thank you. Also, if you're new here on this channel, please hit the like, share, and subscribe to this channel. You guys had got the channel up to over 1,000 some subscribers. That helped me open up a lot of areas where I can get Daniel's story out a lot farther. I can be able to help other families who want to be on this Q&A to share their story as well, get it out a lot farther. And also, there's some little things that come up like the super chats that's on the bottom of the YouTube side of things here. Super chats and some other things I'm still trying to learn about when it comes to the YouTube, using the YouTube. And still working on that, but at the same time, saying it's been helping a whole lot, especially without my main concern is to get Dane's story out a lot farther. And because, you guys, that's the reason why I even started a YouTube channel in the first place, is because once I started learning as well, doing so many interviews, I've done so many interviews, keeping Dane's name out there, his story, trying to reach those persons who know something. And but when the news media start slowing down, that's when you know that you got to do something. You can't just allow your loved one's story to just die off. So you had to step in and do something. And one of those things were to use the tool. I saw YouTube as a tool that I can use. And in my past, YouTube has always been a do it yourself DIY type thing. If I go in there and I say Google something or YouTube something to fit something or how to do something or something like that. That's what I used to use YouTube for. Then I realized as I was doing interviews, especially with the podcast, I'm really, really grateful for the true crime community who's been reaching out and wanted to put Daniel's story on. I started learning that you can actually use YouTube to put your person's stories out there. So that was helpful. Go ahead and build a YouTube channel. I got that help with Grizzly K from Grizzly True Crime. Helped me put this together. She's still working in the background on this YouTube channel, you guys. But the thing is, being able to use that YouTube channel to get Daniel's name out, and I found that is a very, very good tool. And I encourage every family who's listening to me right now as well to be able to utilize that. Use that too. But then, like I said, I have the true crime community. I have people like Grizzly K from Grizzly True Crime. I had John Q and also Q Carlot and T Sophia and some of the other ones out there that was helping me as well on the YouTube experience. And that would prompt me to say, hey, look, you know what? I need to utilize that tool, like I said, and get Daniel's story out there. So it's a lot of people, and I hope I didn't miss anybody, but there's a lot of people out there that's really helping, and I'm really grateful for those who's been helping. Again, I'm Dave Robinson, Father Geologist Daniel Robinson. I'm coming down the comment section now. I want to tell you guys, thank you this morning for being here, taking your time out on your morning. I don't know if you have your coffees in your hands, but just want to tell you thank you so much for coming into the Q&A. I want to say, hey, DJ Moore, thank you for being here this morning on this Q&A. Tay, thank you for being here this morning, as well as Twistina. Thank you. Good morning to you. Lois Strickland, thanks so much for being here as well. You've been here for a long time. I really appreciate it. You've been supporting all of my Q&As. I really appreciate you from North Carolina. But thank you, Tia and Wildflowers, for being here this morning. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Sophia. Thank you for being here as well, moderating, and also being part of the team and board. I'm really grateful for you. Shelby, thanks for being here this morning off the Facebook side of things. You guys, I had lost one of the Facebook. So one of the Facebook, I think it was my personal Facebook page. So that's fine. But so those who was looking at trying to get to the Q&A through that, I apologize. I do see that one fell off. But I'm grateful for everybody who was able to still make it on and still be able to come in this morning. But don't forget also, thank you, Sophia, for putting that up. Some things, so much. The Please Help Find Daniel, pleasehelpfinddaniel.com website provides is a lot of things. And one of those things is the donate. If you guys want to help out to keep me here in Arizona, as well as all the efforts that I'm doing here to find my son, I really, really appreciate that. You guys, no small amount is I'm really, really grateful. Any amount that you can help me out with and keep me here as well, and keep me in this fight for my son. I'm really grateful for that. So thank you, Sophia, for putting that information out as well. You guys, like I said in the chats, you'll see the moderators are putting out certain information. I'm really grateful they're here doing that for me. Some things I will forget about. Precious, thanks so much for being here this morning. Jennifer, thanks for being here this morning. And good morning to you both. Also, thank you, Sophia, for putting this up as well. You guys, we had 119,303 voices. You know, there's a petition. You also can find it on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. But you know, it's your voices that you guys have been helping me out. Was, like I said, I've been down to. I remember one time I was down voices. 10 people signed that petition, and I was able to, you know, saying really grateful now how you guys have grown that to 119,303. You continue to sign that petition with your voice. You guys can do it multiple times. If you have multiple email addresses, that's just your voice multiple times. I think you do have to have a, sometimes they ask you to verify the email address, but definitely put your voice there. I do want to mention again about the tip. It's change.org. They do ask you for a donation. That's just for them. It goes to change.org. They don't come to me. But like I said, if you guys want to donate direct to me, please use the GoFundMe. There's also Cash App if you guys want to use Cash App. Some people came and say, hey, they don't want to go to GoFundMe because they take out fees. But the Cash App is, I don't have that on the website. It's on the Twitter. Please help find 4 is on the Twitter side. I was really reluctant to use Cash App. I just wanted to keep one source of funding. But like I said, there's a lot of people coming to me saying, hey, look, I need a different way. I don't like to give the GoFundMe because of the fees. But I want to say real quick, I want to thank AK Rocks. I don't want to say your name incorrectly, but thank you for that super chat. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that your help there. That means a lot to me. And I will put you up on the screen as soon as your name come up here. But AK Rocks, thanks so much for that super chat. I really appreciate it, sir. And also, you guys, T and Wildflower, thanks so much again for being here. A day of remembrance. It's a very important day. We can't stress enough. You guys know it's not this weekend, but next weekend coming up. And, you know, we want to make sure you guys have the opportunity to come out and support these families, support my family, you know, the support. I'll be there. And I would love to see your faces and meet you in person, and really want you there. Just definitely want these families there. If you have a person reluctant, hey, look, you don't know how to get in contact with us because you really want to be a part of the Q&A. You want to be able to put your tape out there and put your flyers out to the world. You know, use this platform to be able to get your loved one's story out there. Please hit us up. My team is right here in the chats. You know, it's please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com, and hey, put your request in and say, hey, look, I want to be a part of the queue of that day of remembrance. I want to be able to share my loved one's story, and we'll make sure that you reserve your spot is reserved. Again, if you want to just come out and support these families, you can go to 2 ways you can do that. You can go to Eventbrite. You see right here, Sophia have it there, Eventbrite, and look up Please Help Find Daniel, or you can use that link she have there. Please help find, also use that link, Eventbrite. Go to Eventbrite and put a day of remembrance. Put a day of remembrance on the search, and it will pull it up. Or you can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and go under the events tab. That's another way. It's really quick to get you to the Eventbrite, so you can RSVP. We want you guys to RSVP if you can. You know, we definitely want that, because that way we can kind of get an idea of those who want to come out and things like that. So they help the team out. It's help us out to see your name there. We'll be grateful for you to go ahead and RSVP now, and so we can have those names. So like I said, if you want to just support the families, go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and go under the events tab. If you just want to Google it, or you just want to put up on, use the link, or you just want to go to Eventbrite itself, eventbrite.com. You just put in a day of remembrance and it will come up. Also, thank you, Precious Diamond, for being here this morning. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being part of this Q&A. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you for moderating as well as being part of the board and team. Thank you for being here this morning and helping with the comment section. Also, you guys, I got Minnie Trot for being here. I really thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your continued prayers. Also, finding Alicia. Again, I see that you have the poster there. I'm really praying for your family. again, and really willing to help out. If you'd like to be on this Q&A and share your loved one's story, feel free. You can hit us up at pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com and put that request in, and I can have you here. You can share your story, help find Alicia, bring her home, as well as anything you need. You also just want to contact me and pick my brain on better ways to search or whatever I have. We can swap ideas or whatever the case may be. You can do the same thing by hitting me up on pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com or that public cell phone number. Thank you. Thanks so much for being here this morning. God bless you. Also, Barry, thanks so much for being here. Also moderating and being the team member and board. I really thank you for being a VP. Thank you so much for being here this morning and being a part of this Q&A. Again, Sophia put up this information here. Thank you again. If you guys go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and you want to help me with flyer distribution, that is very helpful to everything I've been doing. One of the things, and I'll put it on the bottom of the screen as well. One of the things that has been helpful when I was out there in the desert, like I said, is trying to reach those persons who know something, as well as keeping Daniel's name out there. And one of those keys were to start a city distribution, city search at first. It was a city search. It would go out on Saturdays after the search out there in the desert and go to hospitals, to mental health wards, to the homeless population, and try to get the flyers out. I had these really big, huge flyers. It's amazing to see those flyers. I look at them now, but it's the size of a regular typing paper, and really big, huge flyers are getting the information out there. Searching the cities. Searching the cities, and but then that turned out to be a flyer distribution. Came from flyer search, to city search to a flyer distribution. I had the billboards from the east side to the west side of Phoenix on I-10, and also that was part of getting the flyers out into the cities. It was mainly in Phoenix, Tempe, and where Daniel was last living. And then it grew from there and started getting them out. I mean, everywhere. People started getting those flyers out for me. And then I was able to move those flyers outside of Arizona, getting them to various states. So people was receiving those as well, especially out in their cities. I started this thing. I want to go, if you guys want to be a volunteer ambassador, that's another program that's going to be really inclusive to the Daniel Robinson Foundation in the future, but it's starting to open up that using that as a tool to get flyers out there everywhere. Trying to make sure that we reach everybody we can, and get that infrastructure. That's the word I want to use. Make an infrastructure to the Daniel Robinson Foundation, and make it immediate thing. So if somebody wants to come, families, you guys want to come and say, hey, I have a missing loved one, and we be able to get those flyers out immediately in real time, wherever our ambassadors are located. So if you guys want to be a part of that program and want to be able to help that way, from not just my family, for all missing families who come to us and need to get those flyers out. Only thing you have to do is first of all, you come to the meeting tomorrow at 5:30. I can explain a lot of that to you again. If you want to just a Zoom, information there is at 5 p.m. on Thursdays. Here, Arizona time is 8 p.m. East Coast time. And you want to come and join in on that Zoom. That Zoom link is on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. The front page, right up under the video, you'll see that Zoom link. You can come in and join in on Zoom, and we can talk. You guys see my face, and we can talk about it. But the thing is, you guys, for that volunteer ambassador program, like I said, is designed strictly for those people who want to be able to help families. In terms, like I said, if someone came to the Daniel Robinson Foundation and said, hey, look, we need these flyers out. I have a missing loved one. We can have these flyers made, and this is a PDF be sent out to that city that you live in, to the print shop, and you guys can just go pick that up. So, and get those flyers out there for that loved one. So that's the thing. We definitely want you guys to join in if you can help. We need everybody we can to make that work. So if you want to be a part of that ambassador program to help out in that way, volunteer your time and your services, that would help the foundation as well as help other family members, and that definitely is something I've been pushing for. So you guys, I've been putting out a lot of flyers, thousands of flyers for Daniel. It looks just like this thing behind me for the green screen here. Putting a lot of those flyers out there, giving awareness, and just continue to do so. Thanks to Phil for putting that information out there for me, and just want you all to take advantage of that as well if you want to do something to help towards what we're doing here. All right, thanks also Tracy for being here this morning on this Q&A. Tay, thanks so much for being here. And going back to the question, if you guys have any question, you have any questions, and you want to ask a question here, please put the word question there before your question, or a capital letter Q, or some question marks and things like that. So, like Shana said, I would not be. So help me not miss your question, because I will be coming down the comment section quickly. I'm just trying to get some people out and tell you thank you for being here, but I'm start doing some movements, and then I don't want to actually miss your question if you have them, and so that'll help me out as well. All right, and I'm see what you have here, Barry. As you log on, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, I got you there. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe, you guys. If you're new here on the YouTube channel, you haven't done it already, please do so. That'll help the algorithms get Daniel's story out farther. Help me be able to help other families a lot more. So if you can do that now, so you won't forget, that'd be wonderful. If you also want to hit that bell button so you get reminded of this Q&As, you can do that as well. So thanks so much, Ziggy, for being here this morning, and I really appreciate you. God bless you for being here. And I do have a question from DJ Moore. Thank you, DJ Moore, for putting your question out here. Did Daniel and sister share a place together? At one point, my daughter came out here after Daniel did, of course, for I think a couple of weeks before she got her own apartment. But Daniel was out here before us first. He was here before his sister came out. So, but yes, they did for a little short moment there. DJ Moore. So you guys, just like DJ put there, and put a question there, question marks there. You can do the same thing before your question to help me see it, or even the word question, like I said, or capital letter Q, that helps out a whole lot. All right. Thank you, Lisa Marie, for being here. Good morning to you as well. Thank you, Sean, for putting information out here this Thursday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. You can join me, Mr. Robinson, she have here to find out how to become an ambassador this Thursday. Yes, at 5 p.m. You guys, right here on Mountain Time. The Mountain Time is right here for also Mountain Time. This time of the year is for California time. I think Pacific time as well. Be 5 p.m. tomorrow. If you guys want to join me to find out how to be the ambassador, get those flyers out. That also, like I said, is 8 p.m. East Coast time. If you live out east, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central time. So you guys definitely can come out and meet me there. I would like to see you there. I'd like to see you there. Have a few people come out, and just want to see if I can get more people to come out and be a part of that. So if you guys can please just come out, just listen. If you want to be a part of it, you just get some of the information, some of the questions there. Just meet me tomorrow. Thank you, Don, again, for being here this morning for the Q&A. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. All right. Let me see here. Do I have anybody else that I missed? Mr. Farmer, thank you so much, Alana, for being here this morning. And thank you for being part of the board and team. I really appreciate it that you're moderating, helping as well. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. You guys can put the hashtag, as Barry put it in, Daniel Robinson, hashtag Daniel Robinson. That definitely help out. Put that on your social media. Keep that going as well as hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. Those hashtags help out and get more people involved. DJ Moore have a question here. Where can we find the police reports to read? I've been hearing a lot of people come to me lately about those police reports. They were available to the public for a long time. The Buckeye Police Department have now since changed that. They took it offline because I'm sure about his Q&As and everything else and the inconsistencies in their report. But I have my reports. So I have to keep those copies. But I think they're not putting it back out to the public anymore. So those who missed those opportunities, I think they took it offline. From what I understand it now, I've been getting a lot of report back from that. People trying their best to get those reports, and like I said, they don't offer those no more online. They used to be public. They made it public. They put it out there to the media, and but now they retract that. They pull it back. So you will not be able to find it. From what I understand, you will not be able to find that online like you used to. You used to go to their page and, like I said, and apply for it. But now they take it off. So you guys, all right. T and Wildflower, thank you so much for your question. Thank you for being here this morning. Mr. Robinson, has LE responded to the new timeline you have put out there? Not yet, but that don't stop me. You know, so guys, I have really good strategy going on. You know, a lot of times it's like playing chess. You have to do a lot of things and to get people to move the way you need them to move. And so it's been very effective. I have a lot of positive things that have happened in the last several days. You know, so I'm really grateful to God for that. I really wish I can share that with you guys, and I will be sharing that with you guys as soon as I can. There's a lot of great things that did happen. So like I said, and that's come from you guys again, because you guys kept me here. You kept me in the fight. And, you know, I'm tired. I'm tired, you know, emotionally wrecked a lot. But you know what? That efforts and that push, and you guys have helped me keep, you know, stay here, like I said, and also been here to support. That's what got us to this point. Some things happen. Like I said, some positive things have happened. And I'm looking forward to more. I'm still pushing. You just can't let your foot off the paddle because of positive things happening. That somehow you're just supposed to just let your feet off the throttle, and that's not going to happen in my watch. You know, so I want to make sure my son is going to come home and make sure that I get those answers that Dane deserves, his justice that he deserves. So I'm definitely pushing hard. I'm pushing hard. I still need to be able to be here to do that as well. So you guys. You probably hear the language starting to change a little bit because of those positive things that's happened. But under some discussion, I had to keep some of those things for right now. But I definitely just keep praying for the family and praying for us, and that we continue to get some of these positive changes. So, but as in them responding to that timeline, no. The question is no. Has it resulted in them taking any new actions? And from what I can tell, no, it wouldn't be based on that. It'd be based on some other things. But there were some positive things going on here. All right. Thank you also, Aaron Chase, for being here this morning. And thank you for all the hard work you do. People don't know half the stuff that you do also in the background, all the research and calling, the phone calls you have been doing. I really appreciate that, that your efforts here, and also being part of the Q&A, showing your support in all those ways as well. Thank you again, T and Wildflower, also for the hashtags. I'm really grateful for that. Thanks so much, you guys, for that. DJ Moore again for being here. If you guys have any more questions, please, by all means, put the word question there before you question. Capital letter Q's or question marks. Some of those ways I can actually see your question as I'm coming down the comment section. You can also, as Phil put here, you can also email us at pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com. You guys have a whole team. We're working together to get a lot of things, you know, I was trying to do by myself, and I've been grateful, and I've been blessed to have a team that came and supported. Hey, they got together and said, hey, Ms. Rouse, I want to help and, you know, kind of organize things as well. They the one put in this candlelit visual, you guys, that we did before, also a day of remembrance, bringing these things together. So very hard work in the background. And I'm really grateful for my team. I love each and every last one of them. And I'm glad they're here this morning as well. John Q, good to see your face. Oh, not your face, but good to see your name here. I really appreciate you being here this morning. Again, you were one of the guys that was there to help out on the true crime side of things. And I'm really grateful for all your efforts for that, and all the stuff you do in the background to help towards my efforts to find Daniel. People don't know half of the stuff that you do as well. I really thank you for that, and being here this morning in support. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, helping me on many of your interviews as well. So you guys can check out John QQ. Thank you so much for being here this morning and being a part of this Q&A. I really appreciate you. Listen to while you're driving. Be careful. All right. So thanks so much, and good morning to you. I really appreciate you being here, sir. All right. Thank you, Brooke, for being here as well. I love you so much, too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it that you came out. I do have a question here from Aaron Chase. Thank you, Aaron, again, for everything you do. Are you able to tell us of any progress moving Daniel's case forward? Not at this time. Well, some things I do want to. I can tell you, like I said just a while ago, it's some positive things happen. I'm really grateful for those. Still working on those those positive areas. Like I said, I'm not letting my foot off the throttle, but I tell you what, you know, it helped out a lot. some of the things that have transpired in the last few days. So I'm really grateful for that. Really pushing for more, and I really need you guys, if you can, to continue to support and continue to do what you're doing, because your phone calls, your letters to just supporting me, and all of that is what getting these things done. So we're not there yet, and definitely can't, like I said, I'm not gonna take my foot off the throttle, but I can say there was some movement forward, and I'm really grateful for those movements forward, and I really thank you so much. And let me see, I'm putting this information up. I think that Sophia was putting something to everybody, but thank you again, Aaron, for that question. DJ Moore, those police reports. Okay, yes. But like I said, you guys, they've been removed. If you guys be asking for the police report, I've been having that a lot. People come to me about it. And what I understand, yes, it's been removed, and those things have been removed. I guess, like I said, from my perspective, the way I look at it, the Buckeye Police Department has a lot of people keep coming to me about those inconsistencies. I know that on my end, the inconsistencies, and as well as those things that's not factual, was on that that report. So I know a lot of people scrutinize it, tearing it apart, and people have many copies still out there in the public. And but they took it down, I'm sure, because of those reasons. In my opinion, I don't know the reason why, but most likely you won't get access to it anymore. So that's one thing I do know, is those things are gone from what I'm hearing in the public. I also want to thank Elmo's World for being here, and thank you for the 1.6 thousand followers, and that's you guys. You guys have been following this channel, grew it to a point where I'm able to utilize some of the advantages that comes with the YouTube side of things. Being able to get out to more of the public. Like I said, it's because you guys have been dedicated, following and sharing Dane's story. Excuse me, and bringing other people along. I'm really grateful for that as well. Thank you so much. God bless you for that. I do have a question here from Rochelle. And thank you, Rochelle Harris, for being here on the Facebook side. And I really appreciate it that you showing your love support this morning. Have you reached out to I can mail? I don't know what that really is, but on YouTube. I know I have not. He has a great following. Yes, I would like to find out who that is. My team, most likely, as you ask that question, will be putting that name down so I can remember that, and probably just see, go on to YouTube and see who the person is as well. But thank you so much for offering that as well. But no, I've never heard of the person, but I will check into that. Thanks to Rochelle again, like I said, for taking your time out and come on the Facebook side and being part of this Q&A. I really appreciate that. You showing up this morning. You guys, like I said, like Rochelle did here, if you have a question, put the word question there first, capital letter Q, or so question marks. That really help out as I'm coming down. If I miss your question somehow anyway, you still can come back when you can this evening Q&A at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time here, Arizona, as well as Pacific Time, California, and that's 8:30 p.m. On the East Coast. So you guys can come back, and I really appreciate that if you can. So definitely would like to have you here. Also, thank you, Nadia, for being here this morning. Good morning to you from the Facebook side of things. I really appreciate that you coming out and doing that. So I do want to put up one thing. I think Shauna put up here. Do you have a question or thought based upon the information you feel needs to be explored? Please share. Yes, you guys have anything, like sometimes people come to me and they send me text messages or inbox and say, hey, I think you should, why you feel like, or you ask me, hey, have you searched this place yet, or whatever the case may be. You have some information, like she's saying here. That's some of those questions I like to answer. Some of those questions here. So you have those. You can ask those as well. So thank you, Amber, again for being here on this Q&A. I really appreciate it. And thank you. You're local to Phoenix, but yeah, and it's not unheard of. It's a lot of people. I went to an event this weekend with Sophia. It was one of the events that she helped put together there, and very, very a lot of people's out there, and there's a lot of people did not hear Jane's story. It happens. I've been doing this for, like I said, an entire year. It's been on local news as well as being national. But I find people, when you go out to put those flyers out there, there's a lot of people in this country. You believe it or not, there's a lot of people in the country, and sometimes news and information don't get out as you might mentally say, hey, yeah, it's getting all over the place. Sometimes it just don't. So there's a lot of people I do run into have never even heard of Daniel's story, and they're right here in Phoenix, or right there in Buckeye, or right here, in these neighboring cities, and have never heard of Daniel's story. And so that's the reason why you guys, if you understand why I'm continuing to put these flyers, like this green screen behind me, put those flyers out there to make sure I keep that awareness, because there's always some people who haven't heard of Daniel's story to this day, over a year now. And it could be that one person one day that finally hear that I'm looking for my son. And they say, hey, wait a minute, I passed by that area on such day, June 23rd. I just happened to be in this U-Haul truck moving to another city, and I saw blah, blah, blah. So I seen that vehicle, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. And they'll just jot their memory. They didn't know the whole time what they saw. It's a clue or something that can help me now. So that's what we are reaching out for, you guys. If you guys continue to help me with my flyer distribution as well. Like I said, it's very important if you guys share his story, share his YouTube channel to get information out. Word of mouth is more powerful than any news organization out there. People passing along a story, pass along information out your mouth, towards your loved ones, to your friends, to your coworkers, whoever, and sharing that story. So joining the ambassador program, things like that. So definitely need that, you guys to continue to do that. That helps a lot. So don't feel bad about that, Amber. It's like that, sometimes those information don't get everywhere. So thank you so much for that. All right. Also, I want to say thank you, Bobby Kitty. Thank you for logging in from Charleston, South Carolina. And thank you for reaching out from Charleston, South Carolina, back in my home state, the city that Daniel graduated from, the college that he graduated from. The college Charleston, down there in Charleston, South Carolina. So thanks so much for reaching out. I really appreciate it. I do have, I want to put you up here, and I really want to thank you again for that, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you, sir, for putting that hashtag there as well. I really appreciate you doing you guys. You'll see that on the bottom of the screen as well if you're on the YouTube side. Those super chats right there. That's part of, like I said, you guys got this channel up, have grown this channel, and some of those things come up for you guys as well. I'm going to figure out some of the other things that can come along with that as well. So when I have time to really work on the YouTube side of things, I do have Gizzle K, like I say, working in the background. She's the one that made me aware of some of the things that comes up for YouTube. So I want to tell her thank you. I know she has her own channel she's working on, but she does come in and fits those things, put those hashtags in and some of the templates in and things like that. So doing a lot of work inside the YouTube channel here. And so I'm really grateful for her and her efforts on that as well, all the way from the Netherlands. So she's not even here in this country, but she's definitely been a very big asset to what I'm doing here. So I'm really grateful for her, like I said. And I thank you again, sir, for the super chats. All right. And let's see who else I got here. If you guys can. Here we go here. I want to also put that on this for you. I see you have this, and Mars, let him know if he would like to jump on my show. I'd love to have him on. Thank you. And I would look that up, and I have say if the moderators, you guys can write his name down, get his name down for me, and yes, we'll look you up as well. Thank you so much for the offer, and I look forward to that as well. So thank you so much, and thank you again for that super chat. I really appreciate it. God bless you for that. Also, and I do see that my team did reach out to you as well. So thank you so much, team, for doing that. All right, Barbara Kinney, thank you again for being here this evening. Thank you for those positive vibes. I need those. I told you guys, positive vibes have been keeping me here for a year. There's a lot of ways that you can help me in this efforts to help find my son. And those positive vibes, those prayers, those kind words that you guys have, they help me mentally. They help me stay strong. They help me morally to keep things going, keep my morale, I want to say, going, to keep on fighting here for my son. I love my son, love my family, and I want to do everything I can to make sure I bring him home as a father. You know what I'm saying, you guys? All right, so thank you. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any more questions, I'm looking for to come down the comment section for those. If you have those like Terry did here, put those questions there before you question. the word question or some question marks, that would definitely help me, see it as I'm coming down the comment section. Thank you, Terry, for hitting me up from here on the Facebook side. I really appreciate you coming out to this Q&A and support. Is there any way to contact Heavy D Sparks? I heard of Heavy D Sparks, and I still haven't gotten in contact with him yet. He has led searches for missing Susan Powell. Has heavy duty equipment. Not sure how to send you to his YouTube information. I'll keep trying. Thank you so much, Terry. Yeah, but I have heard of Heavy D Sparks, and I have yet reached out to him or get in contact with him. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Terry, for bringing them up. That kind of help keep that in my mind, so that way it can get done. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Also have Twistina. Thank you for being here this morning on this Q&A. Your question is, how close are you to getting some of the forensics work done on a vehicle? Very close. Cell phone at very close, and I'm really grateful for that. You guys, like I told you, some great positive things have been going on. I've been doing a lot of meetings and a lot of things in the background here. So just sometimes people see, hey, they don't see me in the desert, or they'll see me on the searches. But I'm out there doing that as well, doing my same old. Sometimes people think that's all it is. Oh, that's all I'm doing was searching, or all I'm doing is doing the flyer distributions and interviews and things like that. No, it's a lot of work on the background as well, pushing for meetings, pushing for, you name it, and to get things done. So, like I said, I got some things done, and I'm really grateful for that. Really grateful for you guys for helping as well by making these phone calls and doing the things you have on your end. So yes, a lot of positive things went towards that, Twistina. So thanks so much for that question. And I would gladly to share it with you guys when that time comes. So thank you so much for your question as well. All right. And I do have a question here from DJ Moore. Let's see, there we go. Why didn't a sheriff deputy go out? If you saying, okay, why are city cops going out? Why are city cops going out to the desert? That makes no sense. I don't know if you're speaking of Daniel's case. There has never been any, the sheriff department, I guess what you're saying. They do have the sheriff of Maricopa County. It's the sheriff office that's over Phoenix, Buckeye, you name it, this areas. So I get what you're saying, why the sheriff haven't gone out. I cannot answer that question. All I know is that when I, put the missing person report in, I was directed by the Tempe Police Department to contact Buckeye Police Department to put that missing person report in. And, and even that department did not come out to search. They hadn't supported any of my searches. Like I said, any officer from the Buckeye Police Department only been out to my searches twice. The first time, because I had sent out a letter of request to Chief Hall to get them to come out to bring resources that I really needed out there in that desert, where it came from drones, where it came from cadaver dogs, to you name it, helicopters, things I needed out there that's desperately needed that I couldn't do it myself. You guys have been trying your best by donating to the GoFundMe and to provide me with some of those equipments and things that I needed out there. And we was doing that. We're doing what we can equipment-wise, but we needed more. So I did reach out to that police department, Buckeye Police Department, sent that letter to Chief Hall. He did send some officers out there, and they came empty-handed, literally empty-handed. They could have had their hands in their pocket. Their hands were so empty. They didn't have anything that I asked for to come out to help. So that was useless. In other words, it's like I didn't need more people standing on the ground because you say you're an officer and that's enough. No, and they weren't even doing any search. They were just riding around, kind of hanging around their vehicle. So the thing is, that was the first search. The second time, I asked them out again, did the same like manner, sent them a letter. This is what I need done. I need these mines that I found searched. I need these wells. I need my son, the well site where my son was last seen. Those things done. I need the cadaver dogs out there. They came partially empty-handed. And when I say partially, they came out with a razor, and they didn't come out with anything. That didn't help me at all that day. So they came out during that week with another group of people from, I think, Maricopa County's posse or something out of other. They call themselves to look down in one of the wells, and they didn't use a submergible camera. But they thought I was going to be satisfied with that. They did have some kind of cadaver dog. They call it a cadaver dog. Very pretty white little dog to me. White dog. My team hear about it a lot. But, didn't look like a cadaver dog to me. I don't know what a cadaver dog should look like, but they had that dog out there. Like I said, the whole point is I'm making is the 2 times they came was under my request. And like I said, they didn't do anything to help. They didn't spend a dime. So the thing is, my efforts out there in that desert was all mine. And it was the people who came out to help, the volunteers who came out to help in every way they can. That was it. No law enforcement involved with the searches. As in why the sheriff instead of the city haven't even come out. But like I said, the sheriff, can't speak for the sheriff department. But I do know one of the things I have seen, and I've been fighting for you guys. I've been here fighting for my son. I just fought for get some kind of attention nationally, locally, on the news, and things like that from the media. And one thing that I have noticed when people have tapped on my shoulder about a case, you guys know, very familiar, and I could see how they had this swelling law enforcement support that I wasn't getting at all. And I'm still fighting it to this day. I'm just now, when I say positive things, I'm just now getting a piece of positive things from law enforcement. And that's here after a year fighting. But I saw this family, it's not their fault when I say things like this. It's not their fault, but I see this family without efforts get law enforcement help from the FBI to you name it, from all across this country, all these agencies working together. I didn't have that for Daniel. I didn't have that to Daniel to this date. And so that thing's that's very hurtful when it comes to the family. You have to work so hard and put those things. And a lot of times, I don't like to put race factors, but I know that have a lot to do with it as well. Some of those race factors, you guys know, I don't speak about that a lot, but it's facts and things like that out there that would suggest that. So, but it's a different way that a lot of times they treat different cases, and that happens a lot. So, but as in the presence of law enforcement, that could have a lot of bearing with it as well. But I want to say thank you so much for your question. If you guys have any more questions, do like DJ Moore did here. Put some question marks there. Question marks, a capital letter Q, things like that. That really helps out a lot. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, DJ Moore, for putting your question up. Again, that's some information right here with the chats here. The moderators have a lot of information out there. You guys can look at the moderators, and they have a lot of information for you. And I see it here. But thank you so much, moderators, for working hard in that as well. As in for the information here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, you guys here. Please, if you can. Also, I have on the bottom of the screen here, if you want to volunteer in other ways, also, you don't have to do the ambassador things, all kind of things here. Like I said, please help finddaniel.com, have all that information. If you guys want to volunteer in other ways, there's a volunteer in other ways tab. You put your skill sets, when you hit that tab, a form come up, you fill that out, and put your skill sets there. That definitely will help us with things that we have in the future we're trying to work on, and as well as the foundation. You guys can please do that. Also, if you want to do the flyers yourself, if you don't want to be an ambassador in that way, you just want to, hey, I just want to print these flyers out, and I want to help Mr. Robinson get these flyers out, you can do so. Go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and hit that PDF tab, and the flyer is right there. You can get them printed out and things like that. So I really appreciate you guys for your help. And I definitely need all I can. If you guys want to contact me again, that's the public cell phone number, 803-200-7994, or you can email at pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com. Definitely, we'd love to hear from you, especially you guys who want to come out, like I said, be a part of a day of remembrance. If you have a missing loved one, or you want to come here on the Q&A and share your story, you can still use that same information as well to do that. Like I said, definitely want you to come out. We're still pushing it because it's next week, you guys. Tell everybody you can about this event. Try to encourage them to come out to this event, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. It's September the 10th. You guys, please, by all means, be out there to support the families. Definitely need you to do that. The family needs you. I need you, and I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for it. Again, I can't express it enough how important that day of remembrance would be for families. If you guys can come out and support, you guys can encourage those families you may know have some missing loved ones to be a part of a day of remembrance. And they, like I said, they can use that information that we put down there. And thank you. All right, I have a question here from Akrox. I don't want to say your name incorrectly, but thank you so much again. The question here is, have you spoke to Texas Aqua Search? Yes, I have. That was at the beginning. I reached out to them a couple of times. I did get in touch with a Dave Rader, I believe his name was, but they told me that Daniel's case didn't fit their profile. I don't know what that really means, but in their defense, they did refer me to another foundation that specialized in drones, because at the time I definitely needed drones out there in them searches, and so I was able to contact that organization as well. They did give me some promises of coming out. I did get them in contact with the Buckeye Police Department, because one thing they asked for is try to see if they can get some kind of, I don't know if it's called a referral, but they wanted to be invited in a sense. But they said it was going to come out anyway if they didn't get invited or not. But the thing is, the day of the search, they didn't come out. The guy did say that his workers didn't show up or something or other. But the thing is, I'm saying I did reach out to AquaSearch and several times. Like I said, my son's case don't fit their profile, and so they was unable to help in this situation. So, but thank you so much for putting the information out. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And let's see here, and I will get in contact with you as well. Thanks so much again. If you guys have any more questions, just like you see here, just make sure you put the word question there before you question marks. That helps out a lot as I'm coming down. Thank you for putting the hashtag there. Tay, fast and prayer for Daniel. I really appreciate that. We definitely need the hashtags to keep going. I really appreciate it. Also, Cocoa Puff, thank you for the positive changes. Well, I do have the positive change, but thank you for putting that positive energy out there for the positive changes. I'm really grateful for that. All right, Daryl, thanks so much for being here. And Ms. Murray, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I want to make sure I get these names correctly. But thank you so much for being here for this Q&A off the YouTube side as well. And thank you for your question. I saw a preview of a new season of Disappeared on Investigation Discovery. Is one of the episodes Daniel's case story. Yes, it is. They said it was coming out this time. I didn't get to see it yet. You guys can understand I do a lot of things with these networks and things like that, and I don't get to see it a lot because I'm so busy. If that network don't send me a link, I don't get to watch it a lot of times. So, or get to put it out on here. But it's a lot of things out there, from Paramount to, you name it, AMC or whatever. It is so much to keep Daniel's story. It's a lot of work. Like I said, you guys, just because you see me off for Q&A, I do a lot of other things in the background as well. So there's a lot of interviews too, talking to people. CNN just did an update, so you guys can look for those things. Just Google Daniel's name, and a lot of those things will show up. And so yes, they just episode with Disappeared, and they did very thorough stuff on our side. I didn't get to see the finished product. But thank you so much for putting that out. I would be looking forward now that I know they put it out. They probably told me, they sent me the information, but I probably have forgotten. But definitely thank you so much for bringing that back up. I know the team is hearing that as well, and help me with that as well to look that up later on. So thanks so much for putting that out. And thanks for coming here on the Q&A. If you guys have more questions, please do like she did here, and also as well as PM did doing here. Put the word question there. Some question marks or capital letter Q before your question, and I can see it as I'm coming down the comment section. And thank you to those who are putting some things out in the chats. The moderators can hear those, and they respond to you as well. If I missed those as well, apologize, but I definitely thank you for your comments and things like that in the chats. I see the chats are very busy, so thanks so much. All right, was Daniel's car in drive when it was found in the ravine? Now, for me, looking at it, I can't tell you because I don't have any really clear pictures. I need to go over. I have many pictures of the interior of that vehicle at the scene, and I'm really need to take more time. I've been trying to go through a lot of them as I could and try to determine from what I can see, if that vehicle, some angles of that shifter would suggest it was actually in neutral, not drive, but like in a neutral position. Because anybody know, you drive for years, you know how when you pull your handle, you can almost do it. You can do it with your eyes closed. You never just look at it. You just get in drive. We driving as long as I have. A lot of you, so you just put it in drive in a vehicle. You know how to just get it there. And so just looking at that picture, I do see a lot of indication. It looked like to me it was in neutral, but I can't say that definitively, so I'm gonna leave that out. But from what I understand, nobody did put anything there until later, and I think they're saying I don't. They might put it now. They was talking about it in Q&A, but I haven't seen any indication what position that shifter was in. So I'm sure it's probably changing as we talk about things like, because we spoke about this before on Q&A, trying to figure that out. But like I said, I didn't have time to really go through it. I will be doing that as well to see what position that shifter was in when it was on the side right here in this ravine. All right. I would say in the silence of the desert, wouldn't the coworker have heard a crash since it occurred 4 hours after Daniel arrived? You would think so. You would think a lot of things would have occurred within that 4 hours of that initial crash if Daniel was really his vehicle was out there in that desert. One of the things is, again, going to that timeline when if a person felt like this, he said, "Hey, look." He was acting odd. He was acting strange. I was looking at his eyes to see if they're dilated, right? First of all, like again, I keep throwing, my son is a black male. I'm a black male. He says same color my eyes. So they're very dark brown. You will not be seeing our pupils to determine anything unless you have some big flashlight. My son would not allow some man put a flashlight in his eye to see if his eyes dilated in daylight, so that wasn't happening. So reason why the guy said it, I don't know why. But one thing I can say, definitely with this guy, if he feel that Daniel was so odd at and just got his car and disappeared, why would he just call the job? He said I called the his job and tell him what just happened, right? But you haven't called my son's phone. My son had been reaching out to this guy after he called and told him not to come up there because of some fuel truck. My son been reaching out to him to the point where he wasn't answering his phone. My son ended up sending him a text message, hey, trying to get the location, how didn't even get there. The guy still haven't received a phone call from him. And then eventually my son, after the timeline the guy gave was 9 o'clock to 9:15, my son ended up calling him again at 9:28, and that was the last call. Now, I'm saying if a person was very much concerned about my son, after they called that job, they wouldn't have waited all the way to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 something, to make a phone call. They would have called right then to say, hey man, where you at? You all right? That type deal. If you're that concerned, what I'm saying? So he said, I was getting updates throughout the day. If you was that concerned throughout the day, you didn't decide to give a call at the time. So it's a lot of questions with that, with a person's judgment and the way they, so it's a lot of that really puzzles me, and that puzzles me because law enforcement, I'm sure they pull that report off the air because I talked so much about it, all the inconsistencies and things like that. They pull it down. But we'll take somebody's story and just go with it. But anyway, as in for the car being a drive, I'm not sure. I can't say which position it was in, but my first indication would say neutral. All right. Also, thank you, Aaron Chase, for your question, and thank you again. Have you heard anything about your DNA submission being entered into CODIS? All that I got from that is that they received it. But other than that, no, I haven't have any more information about it. And but hope they use it. Hope they utilize it if they need to. I mean, God forbid, but they utilize it the right way. So I just want to make sure it's there and been utilized the correct way. So, but I did have that, and the funny part about that, it wasn't initiated by law enforcement. I had to do that stuff myself. You'll think that if Buckeye Police Department would have suggested it to me and Daniel's mother a long time ago. I got the information. I did reach out to NamUs, and early on when Daniel first went missing, just to get his name put up there with them, because I didn't know. Nobody knows how to do things when you have a missing person. You never had a missing person in your family before, so you learn as you go. And one of those things, like I said, I was reaching out to those people, but almost a year passed by. Well, a year passed by when I realized that, hey, look, again, reached out to these people again through my team member. Gave me the guy's number. Name. I can't remember the name, but get the information to get in contact with them. And then we just now, not by law enforcement, asking us to, but just now was able to put in some DNA samples to be able to help. So helping my son's case, but definitely those things wasn't given to us. About a lot of things I was saying, everything, the efforts here was done by our own work here, not by law enforcement, by our own work. But like I said, some positive things just happened after a year. So it's a difference depending on who you are as a person, how things work. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I don't really want to throw in the racial stuff, but you can't resist it because it's there. You know what I'm saying? Some of those things are there, prevalent there in this country, and that's how things are. You know what I'm saying? It took a year for them to even start moving a little forward. So that's crazy. After everything I've been in, no matter if I've been in the national news to you name it, talk about Dan's stories and some of those things that didn't make sense and all that. And it took all that time for people to start looking and start trying to make sense of it themselves. But again, thank you for putting this up here, Double Rainbows. I really appreciate that. Your help. Like, share, subscribe, you guys. If you are new to this YouTube channel, please do it now. That helps out. They help to get this channel out. Father, help me get out there for my son. That's just your contribution to helping me as well. So you guys can do that. Have other people do that. Share it on your social media to get this YouTube channel growing even more. Get Daniel's story out there. Share with your family and friends. That would truly help us out. So thanks so much. I really appreciate that you putting that up, Double Rainbows. Again, I have a question here from Gretchen Giles. Thanks so much for being here off the Facebook side. Your question is, thank you. What did Daniel purchase at the gas station? We really don't know. According to Buckeye, they said they have footage of him pumping gas, right? That's what I was told at first, but now they're kind of backtracking and retracting that and saying they only have, I think they said just photos or something again from a video or something out, or they don't have it, something out of other. I got to look back and listen to what he was saying to me. But the thing is, initially I was told there was gas purchased by the Buckeye Police Department. Once we, my family, my daughter and I, we showed them Daniel's bank statement from a cell phone in the interrogation room. We just found out about this gas station. They say they went to this gas station and got that footage initially. So that's what I heard. But it's saying it was gas, and it don't make sense to me that he would pump in, I think it's like $3 or probably less or something of gas for an SUV. It doesn't make sense. I said, since I heard it was, you say I heard it was redacted on a report by the police. Just wondering if it was ever reported to you. Yes, it was. It was reported to me, but they said it was gas. By the way, if it was redacted, I'm telling you, it's unredacted now. They told me it was gas. All right, and but like I said, I can't verify that because they were withholding the so-called video that they claim they have. But now they, like I said, now that I was pushing to ask for the video, they claim they don't have a video type deal. So it's one of those things. What we call in the military, CYA, cover yourself. They covering themselves, in my opinion. That's what they're trying to do now. So, all right, questions. Again, from OD, thank you so much. Hey, David, did you find anything interesting on the 11-mile perimeter away from the crash site? Yes, a lot of things. We found human remains to other suspicious items, burnt cars, you name it. I've been thinking a lot about that recently, but never heard it discussed. Yeah, we find a lot of things out there in the desert. For instance, just even not even 11 miles away, but just close to the well site. You see this clothes, my son. These clothing to this day, we don't even know this my son's clothing. We don't identify it as a family, but the clothing that supposedly or could be staged as my son's clothing. We found a pile of clothing in the same manner in a pile. Whoever it belongs to, some male. It was male clothing. Everything that a person's body was on the ground. Just like how my son's things supposedly have been found, and that was near the well site. Only reason why I know it wasn't part of anything with Daniel, because the pant size is too large. It's bigger than me. The guy was a big guy, whoever he is, and the thing is, those are items that was also uncovered out there. Like I said again, abandoned cars that was burnt down, you name it, human remains to cell phones, things like that. So there's a lot of things been found. in that search out there in that desert. So it's a lot of things don't just go um, come out doing the Q&As and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff out there. So yeah, we constantly find stuff, and you'll be surprised. You can find an area where, believe it or not, people must be hanging out there a lot for years ago, or whoever, or whenever. You find a lot of trash and debris and one big pile. Somebody's probably camping or drinking a lot of beer. You know what I'm saying? You see these big mounds of beer bottles or stuff like that. So, so there's a lot of suspicious things out there, as well as things we do find. All right. You guys can let's see if I have any more questions. I'm getting close to my 2-hour mark here. So if you guys have any questions, you can put them in. Again, if you guys don't get your question in and you think about something later, you also always can come back on just even the Q&A. This is not the only Q&A. This is a morning Q&A. I do have a Q&A prime time. That's 5:30 p.m. Here, Arizona time, Mountain time, as well as Pacific time, California time. But that's 5:30 here. But like I said, it's 8:30 p.m. On the East Coast. If you guys out there in the East Coast, back at home, South Carolina, you can get it at 8:30 p.m. tonight and get your questions in if you miss them here. But I have AK Rocks again. Thanks so much again. I can't wait to speak to you now where I can get your name correctly. Questions. Were there telematics pulled from the car made public? It's some things my investigator put out there. It's a lot of things that probably not out there. But one of those things is some of the information that came back from the black box data. And the way that happened is, like I told you guys, that vehicle was found on July the 19th, and it was given to me on July the 20th. I mean, when I took possession of it, I didn't take it off the compound from the police department just yet. And the way that happened was I was devastated by seeing that vehicle. They waited over 24 hours to show me. My son tell me that my son's vehicle was found by this rancher. The rancher did testify, and I do have that as well, that testimony saying they specifically told this rancher, do not alert the family, do not alert the media. And it was out there with, I don't know, who knows what was going on out there. But one thing we do know, at all that time, they did not do any forensics work here on the scene, right? But they did it over 24 hours later, alerted me. Now, they know I was out there in the desert weekly and during the weekdays searching for my son, desperately, with hundreds of volunteers in my searches. And like I said, on the 20th, when they told me, hey, the way they gave it to me, that detective took me to the vehicle, tried to get me to touch that vehicle for whatever reason, trying to get me to touch the airbags or open the doors and all. I just wouldn't. It's not because I was being smart, because I was so devastated. I was in a devastated state. And I can admit that I was really devastated to see that vehicle like that, and my son wasn't found, And I told the man I had enough, and the thing he said, there was a response to me, said I had enough, let me get out of here. Well, Mr. Ryder, you don't get it out of here, we're going to have it towed, and you're going to have to pay storage fees. You're going to get charged storage fees, right? So that was, to me, pushing me to try to get that. So I had to literally ask a grown man, begging them to give me 3 days to be able to get that vehicle out of there, because I'm not from Arizona, and I want to make sure that I get that vehicle out there. But I had to call Daniel's finance company. He's still making payments on the vehicle, decide if I can see them to come, they want to come get it, or whatever the case may be, or where to send it to. If I don't get out there, I had to pay storage fees, is how you put it. So make a long story that because of that, and also for the meeting I had to find out they didn't do the forensic work, and some other discussions we had, and everything was given to me in evidence bags, marked for safekeeping. One of the things with the black box data, to get to that part, is that caused me to hire my investigator, who, once he got on, I handed him everything I had. They gave me in those evidence bags, marked for safekeeping, and then he went to the police department to get some information from them as well. One thing was told to me was by the Buckeye Police Department that they had more leads to follow. They even put that on their Facebook page. But once my investigator got there to get information off this black box that you was probably referring to, they told him, they gave it to him. They just gave it to him. Hey, they don't have no case. They not. He told me they told him that they're not investigating. There's not investigating. There's nothing else to investigate. They gave him the black box data. Now, when he received that, the sad part is these guys gave him the black box data. That's where you get it from. and he read it. When he read it, he found the 11 additional miles on the vehicle after the first initial crash. He found the mileage, how fast the vehicle was going when it came to impact. Things like that. All the information that we started getting from that black box data that's out there in the public that I talk about all the time here, it was on that report that he got from the Buckeye Police Department. And so he went even farther as an accident reconstruction. He did examine the vehicle, examine the scene, did measurements. I was there with him, of course. I provide his equipment out there to be able to do that. So one of the things we did with these razors that we were out there is try to get that speed up in all different directions, that speed up to get down in a ravine at that speed. And it's impossible with desert vehicles, lightweight vehicles made for that terrain. We couldn't even get to the speed that was on that black box data that they claimed, Buckeye claimed that vehicle crashed down that ravine. So make a long story short with that, as well as all the information, him being in accident construction, looking at the damage, physical damage, literally touching this vehicle and seeing it with his own eyes, not from pictures, but actually seeing this vehicle, determined that the damage didn't match terrain. So all that came into play, and also with that black box data, also with the infotainment system, the information came out when the accident happened, 4 hours after Daniel went missing. So all that stuff came from that black box data, started from that point. And like I said, that's some of the things that's there out in the public. As in for other information, I'm sure that is because it's a big report. I'm not an expert on reading reports, but it's a long page, probably like 800, 900 page report with when I say information, like data, when I say report from the black box and the infotainment system stuff. So I don't know how to read that things. A former investigator, he's an accident reconstructionist, to read that stuff and those sort of things. I'm still waiting on a report from that. But those information definitely, like I said, is out there. The stuff that's already in the public, but more is not there. Just whatever I can put out there right now, and that I know myself as well. All right, so all right, let's see here. I do have Angie, baby. Angie, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You coming out as well. And you guys have any more questions? Double rainbow. If you have any more questions, you guys do like double rainbows here done here. Put some question marks there, the capital letter Q, some questions, the word question, and that helped me find it. All right. Any other family searching for missing loved ones there? I'm sure they are. This is one of the states that have a lot of missing person cases. I've been so busy with Daniel, I rarely get to watch news and things like that to find out what's going on here. But I can imagine, yes. And sometimes families get brought to my attention. And so I try to reach out to them if I can, if they're out there. So definitely, if they're out there, so I'll try to help if I can, in the way I can. So, but yeah, I'm sure they are. This is one of the states that have a lot of missing people cases. And no, Daniel, this definitely is not unique to my family. It happens to a lot of family, unfortunately. And it's very painful for these families. So definitely pray for them. Pray for these families as well. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget about them. And come to a day of remembrance, and that help as well, because those families, hopefully they'll come out there and share their loved one's story, and then I'll even learn a lot about these families as well. So you guys can too. Questions? Can you talk about the paint transfer? Yes, I can. Well, the only thing I still don't have any testing done on that. That's coming up, you guys. I'm telling you, some positive things have been happening. I'm really anxious to tell you, but I can't right now. I have some agreements as well. But you know what, you guys, definitely, the paint transfer is one of the key elements to this whole thing. They will be getting tested. It will be getting some forensic will be done on that as well to determine where they're coming. There's some indication. We got some from people like John Q gave me some information where he feel we got a lot of things out there that's possible where those red transfer. One thing I can say, it didn't come from the tow truck or anything like that. And that's the only reason why we know that is because the company that told her they never had the red trucks or anything red like that would cause that transfer. So there's a lot of reasons why when it comes to that. But yes, the vehicle did, because the damage on that vehicle with that transfer, it did come in contact with something. So And but as in, yeah, we talk about that. That's one of, like I said, one of the key elements that we're gonna have tested. But whenever the information come out about that, once this forensic get done with the vehicle itself, then I'm sure I have something. Gretchen, I have something to add to that. To that, what I do know about the transfer paint. There's a little smidgen of yellow too. You got to be aware of, you guys. That's around that area as well, where the red transfer paint is located. Also, thank you, PM Channel, for your question. Massive resources were used for the missing young person in California due to status change from missing to abducted. Racial component is obvious. Buckeye LE chose not to do more, and why? Well, and I see it all the time. I was, like I said, I look at other families, and I never ever blame the family. You cannot blame the family. People just like me and whoever, living their life, and then their loved one go missing, right? But the way that law enforcement reacts to that is always, it is a lot of times different, right? And I do hear, no matter what race you are, I do hear families say, hey, law enforcement ain't did crap. They ain't helping out, it's crap, you know what I'm saying? But it often happens with people of color a lot more. And that's one of those statistics that's very true. You can't go around it, you can't fight that, but it happens. So the odds of that happening to my family is very high. And I just so happen to have that done in this case, despite of my son's case going national, despite of the public interest. I have never, to this date, had overwhelming support from law enforcement from any agency, not just Buckeye, but any agency. And so we don't have those resources, those massive resources that came out. People show interest in Daniel, a geologist, a scientist, not only have so much as a speeding ticket, but contributed to society. Like I said, a scientist making Buckeye great, you know what I'm saying? That type deal. And, didn't get that. And I had to see that when I'm pushing hard. You guys know the pain I'm going through. I may not show it all the time. Good at hiding those, I think. And but the pain you go through to try to find your son. I don't have time. I can't even grieve my own son's disappearance. And but to see, my efforts. And I did hear these stories, like young ladies asked a while ago about some other missing people. I don't get to hear a lot, but when I do hear some of these cases, and it just happen to be a person not of color. I hear these cases where they just bring the FBI in and do their thing, like instant almost, and that pains me because I've been begging, so you have to beg a lot of times when you're in my position, my son's position, you have to beg for things and you just don't get it. So it is painful. It's painful when you have to watch that and it don't seem fair. It's obvious. Yes, the obvious is there. Like you said, the obvious is there, but I try to make sure I kind of don't voice it a lot, but that don't mean I don't recognize that, because I do recognize it, and I just kind of try to leave it alone and try to concentrate on what I'm trying to do and get my son justice that he deserves. So, but it's there. Those components are there. A lot of law enforcement don't like to hear you say that, but it's a fact. It's there, and it's not just the racial components that are on it as well. When I hear a lot of other families, no matter what color you are, that says things law enforcement do, a lot of times it's because they blue. Some things happen with law enforcement that law enforcement look at other law enforcement, and they kind of sometimes hold themselves back from giving what their job is to serve the public, not each other. I have never heard of a law enforcement officer, I guess they swear in, to defend the department. They're supposed to defend us. That's what they hired for. They're utilizing our money. So just kind of I learned that doing this right here. A lot of times, law enforcement is so blue and so defensive of themselves. People don't get the justice they deserve, right? So that's the reason why I say, in my opinion, and I say this often, saying anytime you're a law enforcement officer or any agency and you can't police the police, then you're a bad cop too. Because people say, oh no, not all all cops are bad. But if you say you're a good cop and you see corruption or see something wrong and you don't do something about it, then you're a bad cop. You're complicit, just like you would the same officers who go out there. And I know I hear a lot about officers can go out there and get drunk and drive, but at the same time they arresting people for drinking and driving, and they be in uniform. So it's a lot of things can happen where, like I said, if they was to pull you over and you riding with a friend that sell dope, but he got it in the vehicle, they're not gonna just take that person to jail. They're gonna take you to jail too for the same charge. So we need to charge them for the same thing. They see these bad cops and they're not doing anything about it. You charge them with the same crime. Bad cops, you label them the same way. So the thing is, I look at it that way. Sometimes it's because of the blue. A lot of times it's because of racism. They don't look at people the same. They don't take it as serious and things like that. If it's young white girl, in a sense, God, I hate to say that, but they probably react a lot faster to try to help. My son's a young black male, and it's been very slow. I had to beg for help. So you have to beg for it. You had to do it for a year for people to move or something. Or to take him seriously like that. So that's the way it does appear, and that's the way it comes out to me a lot. I just don't say it a lot. So that's what happens in reality. Again, you guys, if you can like, share, subscribe to this channel, that really help. Again, and also get Daniel's story out there a lot farther. I really appreciate it if you guys can continue to do so. Definitely got this channel growing. Definitely have me being able to reach more people. You guys have been passing out these flyers, getting these flyers made, and just telling people word of mouth. I really appreciate it. You guys have more questions as well this morning. I really appreciate that. Question: where exactly was the paint transfer located? It was on the passenger side, on near the rear, above the wheel of the front wheel there on the passenger side, the front wheel, near that area there. So, and he said, were all his friends and neighbors ruled out okay, excuse me. Were all his friends and neighbors ruled out that have red cars? Did any coworkers have red cars? Well, I don't know people who have red cars. I do know one of his workers up there had a red pickup truck. So, there's little things like that. But as in, it's not my job per se. I have an investigator at the time to check those things out. But I don't know what he found. Like I said, you guys are still waiting on a report. But the thing is, as in ruling people out, I personally don't rule anybody out. Me personally, not in my investigation. I don't know what Buckeye, which they told me they didn't have no investigation. But so I don't know until they come to me, and they can say what they want to in the public. But until they come to me, a family member say, I'm investigating your son's disappearance, they're not investigating. So one of the things is that was given to me is that during the time with Buckeye, I don't think I hear them say they talk to people. And I never heard anything about investigating or, like I said, or ruling out anything. So as far as I'm concerned, for me, my point of view, no, I don't rule out anything. I don't rule out any persons or anything because I have too much information now to not be able to rule out anybody that's been involved in my son's disappearance. I say, here you go. So say, did any coworkers have any red cars? Like I said, I don't know that part either. I just know that one. As anybody else, I'm not sure. All right. Definitely have more questions, guys. Do like Gretchen did there, as well as Physius did doing here. Put the word question there, some question marks, the capital letter Q. That would help me as I come down. Thank you so much for being here this morning on the Facebook side. And I hope if I say your guy's name incorrectly, I apologize for that. But I'm trying my best. Sometimes I can tear up some names. So thank you so much for being here this morning. When did they tell you about the gas station video? That was early on when I first started my efforts here in Arizona. My daughter and I, like I said, we was riding around doing a whole lot of stuff, due diligent type things, and also trying to get help, from agencies and stuff like that. But we also sat down a lot with the Buckeye Police Department. As a matter of fact, like I keep throwing out there, I throw those little hints and stuff like that. I have yet to this date heard them ever bring anybody into the police department to question them. They're probably going to do it now because I'm talking about it on Q&A. But they have never brought anybody in because every time I told, we went out and we talked to this person. Oh, we talked to this person. We talk to this person. But the only person I think of ever was in an interrogation room was me and my daughter. I didn't realize that. I never been in an interrogation room. I'm not a criminal. But when I look at that room now, think about hindsight, it was a closed off room. We're sitting there and they sit across the desk. And so we had those discussions in the interrogation room, me and my daughter. They told us about it then, so because what happened is we end up, not right then, but we was actually showing them Daniel's bank statement. I had to pull it up through the phone. And also I did a phone call to his bank because I'm a sponsor. So I try to get some limited information I can get from my position. And they listened to it on the speaker. And that's it. It wasn't anything paper trail or anything like that. But they did come back once we look at the. I take that back. I did give them something. I think we did give them some printout. I think it was. Now I'm thinking about it, where they was actually able to look at the transaction of that gas station, because that's what we were talking about when we was looking at it on the phone. But they want to look at the number. I don't know if we gave it to them or we just told them the number or the store number. And then they claimed they went out there to get that video footage where they say they have of him pumping gas at a gas station, a Shell gas station. And so, that type deal. So, but they say they had no footage now, hindsight now. Back then they had video footage, but now they claim they don't. So those two things is different. All right. So definitely have more information about that coming up because I'm really digging into that as well. All right, thank you so much, Ephesus, for your question. Like I said, if I chop up your name, I apologize. But thanks so much for coming out to the Q&A this morning and answering your questions. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Please do the same. I am running out of time here. I really want to come back again this evening and answer some of your questions, the ones I have missed. If you guys can come back this evening and answer questions then. I am coming down to the comment section, look for more. Try to catch these last ones before I get out of here. Let's see, who do I have here? Oh, I think I want to say profiling. Thanks so much for being here. Manipulation, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. You coming out, being a part of this Q&A. Also, let's see here, got Double Rainbows. Thank you so much for your question. Did LE close officially close Daniel's case, or do it remains open in LE? Well, Buckeye is they all over the place. Like I said, June the 20th, when they gave me my son's vehicle, that was the start of them saying they didn't have no more leads to follow. That's during time they told me I had leads to follow. They definitely gave me his vehicle. They just held it for me for a few days. They even asked them to put a tarp on it because I was worried about rain. But as in a little time after that, like I said, I hired my investigator some days after that, and they told him they weren't investigating. But the case is open, from what I understand, and what I'm understanding. But these guys haven't come to me directly since that time. They told me they had no more leads to follow, and they told my investigator they were investigating. They have never yet to this date came to me or my investigator at the time that they're investigating now. You know what I'm saying? So I hear a lot of that in the public sphere. You guys through the police report, this changes as they hear my Q&A, and I'm sure now that, like I said, they took that offline. But they have never officially came to me and told me they have actually doing an investigation. So I don't know. But as in the case being open, yes, I was told that it was still open. Like I said, word of mouth. They come to me and tell me that as well. All right. Thank you again, Aphias. Thanks so much for being here. I'm gonna get your name correct. Any follow up on the young man that said his brother may have had something to do with Daniel's disappearance? Yeah, I follow up on that. Of course, I try to get all limited information I can. I don't have law enforcement thing, and then with that situation, I had to be very careful of trying to approach certain peoples, right? So I did have to reach out to the Buckeye Police Department and give them that information because that was the ones that's supposed to be in doing my son's case and the last person who handled those things. So I did reach out to them from a law enforcement standpoint and gave them that information. I follow up on that sometime after that to give them some time, follow up on that. And I was told that they ruled the guy out. They ruled the guy out. That's how they put it. They called and checked into his story and then it fan out or something. But for me on my end, of course, I still haven't ruled that out. And the reason why I haven't, because they haven't given me no sufficient reason why they just can rule it out outside of some information they gave me that I can't make public because of that person's privacy and things like that. So, but one thing I can say is I don't agree with just ruling that person out. I don't agree with ruling the person who said he also seen my son that day. I don't want you guys to forget about him as well. He said that he told at the time coming off that he's a federal law enforcement officer. He even fooled my investigator, I guess. My investigator supposedly had vetted his story, and at the time, and don't forget about him as well. So those things definitely. You guys don't know half the work I have to do in the background. That's where some of those positive things that I really want to tell you guys about is coming to fruition. I really, really work hard. I have a team as well that's working hard, but working really hard trying to make sure we get some of these things done. I'm still putting out letters to the Justice Department, you name it, things like that. So to make sure that Daniel, he's going to get those justices that he deserves, one way or the other. And so just wait on that. I just have a lot I really wish I can tell you guys, but yes, yeah, I'm still gonna follow up on that. So thank you so much for the question. All right, anybody have any last questions? It's almost that time. I really appreciate it. You guys coming out this morning for this Q&A. Yeah, it's a lot of great questions this morning, and you have been showing a lot of support this morning. I really appreciate you being here. Jake, thank you again for being here. Jeep girl, Jody, thanks so much for being here on this Q&A. Maggie girl, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Ghost Queen, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for spreading awareness. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Helping out, profiling. Thanks so much for being here as well. You guys, thank you, Nikki O'Shea. Thank you for constantly being here. I really appreciate that. You guys have any more questions? Like I said, you can come back this evening and be a part of that Q&A as well. I definitely thank you for putting that up there too. I really appreciate that, Aaliyah. Thanks so much. Yes, I'm hoping I'll find and I will. I'm going to do everything I can from a father standpoint to make sure that happens. You guys don't forget, before you leave here, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That really helps this algorithm going and get Dane's story out there a lot farther. Please, by all means, you can stop now and do that. You also can hit that bell and, get the reminders. But definitely would like to have you out here on this Q&A and support. And so I can continue to get Dane's story out there as well. If you have a missing loved one and you want to be on this Q&A, if you have a missing loved one and you want to share your loved one's story, there's two things I would like you to do. I'd like you to go to please help find Daniel at yahoo.com and put your information in. Hey, look, I want to be a part of Q&A. I want to be a part of Day of Remembrance. I really want you guys to be a part of this Day of Remembrance that's coming up. If you have a missing loved one in your family and you want to reserve your spot and get your information out there, please hit us up. Also, those who want to support, please just come out and support. Like I said, you can go to Eventbrite and just type in the word A Day of Remembrance, and then you'll see that come up, as well as the link is right here on the bottom of the screen. Or you can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and hit the events tab, and that will take you straight to Eventbrite, and you can RSVP there. Definitely want you guys to come out, put that on your calendar. It's a major event for those loved ones that's out there that's missing. Definitely need you out there to support this family. Come out and support me. You guys have been supporting. I really need you out there. I would like to see your face. I'd like to shake your hands. So thank you so much. If you guys can do that, I really appreciate it. Thank you also, Elle, for being here. I really appreciate you coming out. Ghost Queen 79. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for coming to this Q&A. God bless you. I'll see you this evening. And take care of yourself. And I hope your day is prosperous and you get everything that you've done and you get all the blessings that you deserve. God bless you. I'll see y'all this evening. Thank you.